Hello, guys. Good evening from the Philippines. This is Roddy again, and today, tonight, I'm going to be practicing my English, and I'm going to be talking about, let's say, fluency and knowledge, and the relationship of knowledge to fluency, and how knowledge determines fluency to a certain degree. You see, there are so many things that we don't know, and there certainly are things that we have known, and we still are in the process of knowing. And so, as we know more things, to a certain degree, if we carefully look at or examine what we know or what we are knowing about, our fluency also expands to a certain degree. So, for example, when I feel sleepy, I've noticed that when I'm sleepy, I'm not as fluent in English as I would like to be. I speak so slowly. I have to think more carefully about what I'm going to say when I'm sleepy. So that's what you might call a form of self-knowledge, or that self-knowledge, if you will. And I've noticed that when I don't feel like eating and suddenly I forget to eat at all, and then suddenly I feel hungry, I don't feel as energetic as I would like to feel. My English also is, my fluency in English is not as smooth as I would like it to be. So this is again self-knowledge. And I can talk about it because I know it. Okay, so self-knowledge influences my fluency in various ways. And then also, my relationships with other people also determine how my English, my fluency in English evolves and develops. So, for example, if I'm speaking with a friend, I obviously care about my friend, so I use words that signal to my friends that I care about them. And I use grammar structures carefully so that they can understand me as perfectly as possible. So that is also self-knowledge in relation to, in this case, my friends. Now, as we learn and know more things, our vocabulary words also expand. So, for example, when I started learning and practicing English in 2013, I didn't know the words metaphysics, epistemology, ontology. I didn't even know that those words existed. Okay, now I can talk about them a bit. And I Also didn't know that the terms modality. I didn't know that when I started learning English and practicing English too. I didn't know that. But now I can even use the term because I've been exposed to it. Okay? So the things that we do and the things that we learn and the things that we know determine our fluency to a certain degree. That's to say, the limits of our knowledge determines the limits of our knowledge determine our fluency to a certain degree. Now, of course, you could argue that we have passive vocabulary words and active vocabulary words. Okay, I get that, but still, our proficiency, if fluency is not your type, okay, for whatever reason, our fluency or proficiency in English or any language really is determined by the things that we know, and also is limited by the things that we don't know, because we cannot talk about things that we really know nothing about, unless we were trying to lie or something. But that's another story for two. So, that's, I think, is the relationship between knowledge and fluency or proficiency in any language, and in this case it's English. So that's what I think. Thank you very much for listening.